It is a strange feeling, this pull I sense from Talos. Since arriving in Narcissus, his voice has grown louder in my heart. He has brought me here for a reason, of that I am certain. There is a great evil festering in this city, something that must be purged. May Talos grant me strength, guide my blade, and steady my hand as I cleanse this land of corruption. Tiberius Imbrex, humble servant of the Nine.
Hello, and welcome back to some more Tamriel Rebuilt with Tiberius Imbrex. So I am recording this 3 or 4 days after the last video. I'm feeling a lot better. Still not entirely cured. I definitely am still a little congested and coffee, but it should all be cut out, so it shouldn't be so bad. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off by finishing potentially the rest of the main Fighters Guild quests here. I know there's someone else who gives work here for more low-level characters. I'm unsure if I want to do them or if I want to go do another faction afterwards, because there is an Imperial Cult quest line here that I didn't know about, so that's pretty cool. And we have the Legion here, and there's just some cool dungeons nearby. I think there's one specifically around here that I really want to go to before we end the series. Somewhere around here. All right. Got any more orders? We've been contracted to handle a miners' rebellion. You've been ordered to deal with those miners, intimidate them if you like, or convince them to back off. Just get them back to work. Oops. What does the journal say? Terras Vendinius ordered me to handle a miners' rebellion in the Num-Ittu Mine, a sapphire mine owned by the East Empire Company east of Stormgate Pass. The miners there are threatening to defect to the Hlalu unless they get an enormous pay increase. I'm either to intimidate them into backing off, or try and convince them to stay with the company. I must have hit that order last time and cut it out, hoping I could just reread it later. So yeah, but basically we need to go deal with another mining dispute. Seems to be a lot of that going on in the Hlalu region, doesn't it? Also, I just read this guy's dialogue that we trained from before. Have you come to train or have you come to chat? As a former scholar, I am more than willing to share my knowledge of Akavir, the Second Empire, and the Tsaesci. Tsaesci? I have no idea. I've only read this word. I've never spoken it. Tsaesci? That's cool. Let's ask him about it. Why not? Akavir is a large continent to the east of Tamriel. Relatively little is known about it, but armies from Akavir have invaded Tamriel several times in its history. And from these armies' accounts, scholars have concluded that 4 prominent nations exist on Akavir today. The Tsaesci, the Kamal, Tangmo, and the Ka Potun. Okay, tell me about them. Tsaesci Snake Palace is a large kingdom on Akavir. It is home to a race of immortal vampiric snake men, also known individually as the Big T's. Their sophisticated bureaucratic and martial traditions greatly shaped Tamriel under the Akaviri Potenate and other snake advisors of the Second Empire. Once the most powerful nation of Akavir, more recent records indicate that they have been in decline since its internecine war with the Potun. Okay. What about the Kamal? Kamal, Snow Hell. It's a tribe of frost creatures native to Akavir. The Kamal are believed to freeze in the winter and thaw in the summer. Like the Snake People, the Kamal have attempted to invade Tamriel before, but the God Kings of Morrowind defeated them in the Second Era, and they have not returned. However, descendants of the surviving Kamal invaders, who went west and befriended the remnants of the Akaviri Potenate, survive and thrive in the Imperial bureaucracy today. Do they? What do they look like? Have we ever seen one before? Okay, tell me about the Tangmo. Tangmo, Thousand Monkey Isles, is a nation of Akavir. Unlike the Snake People or the Ka Potun, it has no leader or state. Rather, it is a decentralized confederation of tribes. External factors, namely the other nations' constant slave raids on the Tangmo, have led the wildly divergent tribes of the Monkey Men to form a defense pact with each other. Tangmo's continued independence is attributed to this defense pact, the individual bravery of its warriors, and more recently, a possible alliance with the Tsaesci. Okay, what are the Tsaesci? The Tsaesci, the tiger dragon, is the immortal god king of the Ka-Po-Tun, said to be the largest dragon in the world and the one ruler on Nirn the Empire considers equal to the Emperor of Tamriel. That's pretty crazy. Diplomatic relations have been impossible to establish, and it is alleged that Tsaesci plans to invade Tamriel once he has conquered Tsaesci, Snake Island. Okay, and then tell me about the Ka-Po-Tun. The Ka-Po-Tun, the Tiger Dragon's empire, is the most powerful nation on Akavir, ruled by the Emperor Tsaesci. It is claimed that long ago, the Snake people declared war on the Catmen of Po-Tun, both sides seeking ownership of Akavir's many dragons. This war drove the Akaviri dragons to extinction and devastated both nations, but it seems Po-Tun has recovered sooner. Like the Khajiit of elsewhere, Akavir's catfolk view themselves as dragons, and this belief has fueled their national myth as Ka-Po-Tun. Man, there's a lot of cool lore here. Tell me about the Akaviri Potenate. The Akaviri Potenate refers to a stage of the Second Empire's history and the title of its rulers during that period. When Remen I defeated the Akaviri invaders of the late First Era, he recruited them into his armies and bureaucracies as advisors. The Emperor's chief advisor, the Potenate, was often of Akaviri origin, and after the Remen dynasty of emperors ended, the Akaviri Potentates continued to govern the empire for 400 years. The Dark Brotherhood ended the Akaviri Potenate and the Second Empire. Man, it's crazy to me how just talking is making me more congested. How does that make sense? I was feeling great, and now just talking for about 8 minutes, I can feel like I can't breathe anymore. Interesting. Good times. I love being sick. Po-Tun, we already asked about. Tell me about the Second Empire. The Second Empire of Man was a state founded in Cyrodiil by Emperor Remen I late in the First Era. It would come to rule most of Tamriel until its final dissolution in the middle of the Second Era. Its long, costly, and ultimately unsuccessful invasion of Morrowind and the Fourscore War contributed to its collapse, but many of its innovations, such as the Imperial Guilds and the Imperial Legion, exist to this day. The modern Empire of Tamriel claims direct descent from the Empire of Remen, which makes sense, and it's also a very historically accurate thing. I mean, people have been claiming to be the direct descendants of the Roman Empire for 1,000 years now. I think the Ottoman Empire claimed to be the descendants of Rome. I think the Russian Empire claims to be the descendants of Rome. All that kind of stuff is very historically accurate. Okay, tell me about the Fourscore War. The Fourscore War was a conflict fought between Morrowind and the Second Empire of Man at the end of the First Era. While the Fourscore War ended in a truce, it wrought extensive destruction to Western Morrowind, which saw most of the fighting. The ancient House Hlaalu council seat of Narsis was sacked. Today, no evidence of the Second Empire's sacking of Narsis remains. House Hlaalu has rebuilt and expanded Narsis as a trade hub that hasn't seen war since. Cool. All right, well, we got some lore. I apologize if you don't want to hear me read that, but it sounded cool, so. Okay, so we need to go to Stormgate Pass. Where is Stormgate Pass? I know it's like down here somewhere, right? It's not up there, is it? No. So maybe we can take a caravan there? Oh no. Guild of Fighters. So what is the fighting chance here? I always thought this was part of the Fighters Guild. They share like the same courtyard here.
Greetings to you.
Weird.
A pleasure to meet you.
It's also the name of the shop in the Imperial City in Oblivion, so. Who copied who? Orders. Orders. You must have confused the buildings. This is where we rest between orders. You'll want the guild hall next door. Oh, so it's like.
Greetings to you. A pleasure to meet you.
It's like a hotel or something? Ooh, there's more trainers here too. Block. I would love to train Block. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? We got a bunch of money. Never mind. We can't train any further. Let's train light armor then, so we can train Block later. Let's also train Axe. No, we can't train that with you. Okay. I'm also now just like dying because we just trained for so long, but it's fine. Yeah, it's like a tavern. That's very strange. Okay. You're also a trainer. Interesting. Little advice. Want to explore the underground of Narcissus, champion? Start from the St. Veloth Quarter sewers or the Market Quarter sewers. Everywhere else, it's either ghosts or dark elf ancestors, or the Kamana Tong's turf, or the Janata Syndicate's territory. You don't want to mess with any of them. And Dro Zajir doesn't even mention the catacombs below. Yes, we've been there before. It was terrible. I hated every minute of it. I'm just kidding. Welcome to the Fighting Chance, champion. My name is Throloff the Savior. We provide beds and offer food, drinks, find company. Members of the Fighters Guild get a discount. Ooh. This is the Fighting Chance Tavern, rented by the Fighters Guild. What the heck? That's sick. They rent out a whole tavern? We can ask him about the Miners' Rebellion? Well, if I were you, I'd just go there and knock some sense into those miners. But I think Golvin Ioneth here was talking recently about miners' riots that got put down a while back. He's been with the guild for some time and tends to know what he's doing. It might be worthwhile to ask for his advice on this. Golvin, that's yeah, it's you. Miners' Rebellion. It's an interesting situation you've got there, and I think I may have some advice for you if you're trying to convince the miners to back off. Do you know about the miners' riots that happened when Vardenfell was opened? Plenty of people were heading off to strike claims in the new mines, so the owners of the ones still operating here thought they could get away with lowering wages and buying slaves instead of hiring workers. The miners were furious, of course, and took to the streets. But rioting miners isn't good for business, and the Hlalu are all about business. They ordered the Canyon Watch to put down the riots, and, well, the fighting was awfully one-sided. I was lucky enough to be out of town at the time, but things were shaken when I returned, and there were enough dead that you could still see the scars today. To put a long story short, though, I think that's a very good reason these miners of yours shouldn't work for the Hlalu. No one wants to fight the Canyon Watch again. The Canyon Watch are headquartered in the Canyon Keep and the Market Quarter, and their jurisdiction spans the Market and St. Veloth quarters. Outside of Narcissus, they're charged with defending the canyons of Shapal Shin and Rothroran. The order was originally Shanathi mercenaries, but in modern times, they're mostly recruited from miners in the lower castles. In the lower classes. Okay, so they're like the Pinkertons. Breaking down strikes, okay. Alright, now that we're rested, fed, maintained, thriving in our lane, let's go deal with some miners. I think if we head to the market district here, there's like a caravan that'll take you to some of the passes, I think, if I'm remembering correctly from Kalia. All right, here we are in the Narcissus Market Quarter. We could look at the enchanter. We have a ton of money. Does she have anything that would help us in any way? Resist paralysis pants. I feel like we should buy that. We have a resist fire one right now, which is pretty good. But we've been getting paralyzed a lot, so maybe that's the call here. She also has some shoes, but then we'd have to like take off our boots every time. And why would you ever want to take off the boots of Dragon Thunder? You just wouldn't. So we're going to put on those pants. Nice. Maybe now we won't get paralyzed every time we fight a giant wasp. Is there anything else over here? Good shops? I don't think so. I mean, there's like an armor shop over there, but it's not going to be better than what we have. So does this guy take us to Stormgate Pass? Yes, he does. Perfect. My game just crashed. Oh no, it didn't. Okay. It was acting like it was crashing, which it has happened a couple times in this series, which is scary because it never happened with Valdrin, and I don't know if it ever happened with Kalia. Who the heck are you? The ruins above us are truly fascinating, don't you think? I'm Alundale, mage and excavator from the Imperial Archaeological Society. I've been working in Morrowind for years, so I haven't had much chance to visit an Ayleid ruin. That's the only reason I'm paying Stormgate Pass a visit, an Ayleid ruin. A long extinct and ancient race of Mur that dominated central Tamriel for centuries. Most of their ruins are located in Seared, but there are some spare outliers in Western Morrowind and Blackmarsh. If you want to learn more about them, I'd suggest you go study in Seared. I'd love to investigate Malator. It's the ruin up on the cliff built by the ancient Ayleids. The only thing stopping me from entering is the locals' warnings that it'd end miserably. For now, I only limit myself to walks around the exterior. I mean, I know we're trying to do something right now, but okay, let's end the Miner's Strike, but you know we gotta go to the Ayleid Ruin, right? We're looking for miners? Num-Ittu Mine, east of Stormgate Pass. Okay, so let's mark here. So when we head the other way, we can always come back and do the Ayleid Ruin. Maybe that's how we'll spend the majority of this video. I think I read about it, or someone told me that there's an Ayleid Ruin in this update, so we gotta do it. We gotta do it. They were super fun to explore in Project Seared. Maybe we walked right past it. Give me a second here. Also, let's kill these Quoom, because every time we've ever ran into them before, we were too weak of a character. Screw the Quoom, even if they are cute. They've killed me a few times, because I'm always... I think one chased us around very early on in this series, up in the Velothi Mountains, and then I think Kalia died to one too, so... Is that the mine? Maybe. They call it a mine. Yes, it totally is. Nice. Glad I went back. Hello.
Let's hear it, Cyrodiil.
I hear you're leading a rebellion. If you're here to put down our little miners' rebellion mercenary, then don't bother. We won't be working for the East Empire Company anymore unless they start paying us much better. If you're willing to bargain with us, though, talk to Linnea. She's at the bottom of the mine. Ooh, look at all that sapphire on the walls. Kinda want it. Gotta assume it's you, right?
Only have a few moments.
Are you here to threaten me into calling off this miners' rebellion mercenary? Or has the company sent you to bargain with us? Why don't you, take some money? Tell me about yourself. I'm Linnea Trellis. I was the foreman of the Num-Ittu Mine, but now I lead the miners in getting some better paying jobs. I used to run this mine for the East Empire Company until the Hlalu made me a better offer. Since then, I've been trying to convince the miners to go and work for an employer that pays them what it ought to. The company doesn't see things that way, unfortunately. Okay, let's talk about the rebellion. Well, say whatever you're going to say. The sooner you do, the sooner we can get this over with. If you refuse to keep working for the company, I'll have to force you. Tell her about the miners' riots put down by the Canyon Watch. Yeah? Really, in that case, I'm surprised to say it, but thank you. The Hlalu almost tricked us into being just some more expendable labor. So yes, I'll call all the miners off and I'll make sure to let them know what the Hlalu do to their workers. Oh, that was easy. What happens if you don't get that information? Can you not convince her? Maybe. Okay, well, let's recall back to Stormgate Pass, because we got an Ayleid Ruin to explore. Now, we can just float up there, which I'm pretty tempted to do. But I don't know. Can you get up this way? There's some like Ayleid rocks that have fallen down. Huh. All right, well, let's just float up then, if you can't get up this way. I love the way you walk straight up. That's amazing. All right, let's check it out. It's been quite a while since we visited an Ayleid ruin on this channel. Malator. What horrific experiments have been performed in these halls, I wonder. Maybe it reminds Tiberius of home, makes him a little homesick. These things are dotted all over Cyrodiil. Maybe that's why he's coming here. He's homesick. He wants to go back to Bruma. Okay. I'll take those lockpicks. Archaeologist's Journal. Entry 1. My camp is small but adequate. A bedroll spread across weathered marble tiles that still bear faint traces of Ayleidilic geometric patterns. The walls here are remarkably preserved, with intricate carvings depicting what seem to be celestial events or ritualistic gatherings. I've chosen this room carefully. It appears to be a secondary storage area, judging by the remnant stone shelves carved directly into the walls. The temperature is cool but not unbearable, and the thick stone provides excellent shelter from the occasional desert winds that sweep through this region of Morrowind. My lantern casts long shadows, making the ancient stonework seem almost alive. Every creak and distant echo makes me acutely aware of how isolated I am. The Imperial Archaeological Society has been waiting years for someone to thoroughly investigate Molitor, and I intend to be meticulous in my documentation. And Darium. But he left his potion of fortified luck, so he's screwed. Ayleid Ruin Book, cool. I feel like that's one of the coolest parts about TR data as a whole, is how, you know, these assets were made. Holy crap. These assets were made probably for Project Cyrodiil, but the TR devs can use them in their mod too, because it shares the same data repository or whatever it's called. Oh crap. That's just cool. I think that'll be super interesting when you get to border towns where there's supposed to be influences from another culture. Well, you can make a town based off that now, you know, like if you were in Skyrim and there you had the Redguard assets and you wanted a Redguard town in Skyrim, the assets are already made. You don't have to wait for them. I think that has a lot of potential to be super, super cool. I've always really appreciated the Elder Scrolls architectural styles and how they're all very distinct, because you run into that a lot with, I feel like, fantasy games where, lock 100, where everything is just so generically fantasy. Everything is medieval Europe buildings. You know, maybe if there is something distinct, it'll be like Japanese. And so those are the two architectural styles you find. There's nothing unique about them. There's nothing cool. It's just medieval Europe. Here you go. And it all kind of blends together, and honestly, it's a little lame. So, do we have a lock splitter scroll? I don't think we do. Can we break it? Might have to go buy a lock splitter scroll. Can't seem to find the place on the door to hit. Okay. Oh, there's another journal. Entry 2. Progression into the ruin has been frustratingly slow. It's clear that Molitor has been visited and plundered multiple times before my arrival. Scattered ceramic fragments, broken metal doors, and disturbed archaeological layers tell a story of repeated treasure hunting. The main passage leading deeper is currently blocked by substantial accumulation of sand and fallen stone. It will take significant effort to clear, and I am conserving my energy and resources. More concerning are the strange noises I've begun to hear. Soft at first, like distant whispers echoing through the stone corridors. Sometimes they sound almost like chanted words in a language I cannot recognize, although the cadence feels distinctly Ayleidilic. I've marked potential points of further investigation on my survey map. Something about this place feels incomplete, as if the ruin is deliberately concealing its true nature. I think so too. We might have to... should I mark this? All right, well, I think we had another direction to go. Did we go this way? That's where we just were, down there. Don't think we went this way. Or, wait. Maybe we did. Maybe that's where we came from. Okay. Let's go this way then. We haven't been here. Ayleid scroll case. Don't see anything else. Ooh, hello. Welcome, spirit. Ooh, an Ayleid statuette. I'll take it. Anything else? Another journal? Entry 3. I've reached what appears to be a dead end, but I refuse to believe that this is the extent of Molitor. The massive pit I descended upon entering the ruin suggests a depth and complexity far beyond what is currently visible. The stonework here is too precise, too deliberate to be a mere surface-level structure. My instinct, honed by years of archaeological expeditions, are screaming that there must be another way down. Hidden mechanisms, false walls, or concealed passages are common in Ayleid architecture. They were masters of spatial deception and ritual complexity. The walls here seem to hold secrets. Certain stone blocks look subtly different, with almost imperceivable variations in their alignment. Tomorrow, I will begin a methodical examination of every inch of this chamber. Molitor has not yet revealed all of its secrets. Not yet. I feel like that's the game telling me to look at the walls for secrets. I have not seen any yet, though. Okay, so if this is where we came from, right? This is the entrance. Yes. And up there is how we got in. Okay, so there's seemingly nothing in this direction. We could drop down to the bottom. I think we have a slow fall spell, or we could just cast Levitate, of course. But I'm gonna double back and see if I can find a wall switch or some sort of hidden secret thing. Obviously, there's that 100 locked door, but you would think he would see that. So it's not exactly a hidden thing, it's in the open. Wait, did we come up here? Yeah, we did. Getting very, very lost and very confused. What's new? I blame the sickness. Wait. Stone button. What does that do for me? Oop, it opens up this. Okay, all right, we're getting somewhere. We can go that way. Don't know where that goes, or we can go this way. I remember you guys. I think you paralyzed, so I'm glad we bought those pants. That'll help a lot. Some Welkin stones, we'll take it. What does this do? Brings us... Is that just another Welkin stone, or is that a Varla stone? Oh, just a Welkin stone. Okay, why would I want to come down here? There's another button right here. Oh, it just it just closes the door. Okay, well. That makes sense, I guess. Okay, let's go back this way then. Something is damaging. Oh, it's poison. Okay, where does this lead to? Leads back outside, so there is like an alternative entrance. That door's locked. This is another 100 locked door that we cannot get into. Oh wait, it just loops around. Okay. Maybe we don't need to get through there if it just leads to the other side. Who cares, right? Is there a master lockpick? Oh, too complex. Okay, well, we got a bunch of scrolls. There's your Varla stone. Let's get some fatigue back. I'm gonna be fighting this guy. Don't know how good we are against him. Apparently pretty good. Okay, Varla stone of seared bindings. As you hold the stone, the ruin around you dissolves into a vast tunnel of twisted, battered, iridescent metal. Along the wall is illuminated only by a bright glow streaming through the floor's many holes. Rows of caged prisoners wail at you for release. You are struck by the urge to free them, but a surge of light from below blinds and paralyzes you before you can move. It fades, and you are back in the ruin. The only traces of the prisoners are their seared imprints in your mind. So these usually give you a buff. Security and alteration. Reduce athletics. That's not very good for us. Molitor keystone. Ooh, definitely want that. More secrets. Ooh, another Ayleid statuette. Tsaesci right and left bracer. Nice. I think we had the full set as a Valdrin a long time ago. Don't see any more buttons though. Ooh, a shield. Break this door down, maybe? Doesn't look like it. I hate the lock bashing mod. It needs to work more often. I would probably never ever use it again, honestly. I like forewent any lock picking abilities at all, and now we just can't get into doors half the time. If I had, put a little bit of points into alteration, we could have had a lock 100 spell, and that would have been better. Well, it looks like it's just the shield and sword. We don't really need it. It would have been nice. I'm surprised the keystone doesn't open it. Does it open this? Yes, it does. Okay. Yeah, so we just looped back around. I guess the only other way to go is to drop down the giant pit. Okay, let's jump down and... Okay, that's not what I was expecting. I was going to slow fall it at the very end there. Molitor Lada Garlus. Where the heck are we? Molitor. Holy crap, we should heal. How did we not die? I mean, obviously it's intentional that you fall down like that. Oh, is that the guy we're looking for? How did he get down here without dying? Cursing Auroran Battle Axe. I think that's from the roguelike mod I have that gives magic items to everybody. Same with these heavy leather boots of his. Darium Callius. Here you go, my friend. May you hold on to this artifact in the afterlife. That's all he ever wanted, was to see possibly a Varla stone. There you go. I don't know if we need it for anything, but it's kind of lowering my athletics, and I don't like that. Plus, I mean, Tiberius, he's not really a treasure hunter the same way Valdrin and Kalia are, so... if that was that guy's last wish, was to uncover the secrets of the Ayleid ruin here, it's the least we can do. Ooh, okay, these shock things are really hurting, actually. Okay, where does this lead? Back to here. Could we have gotten in there from this room? Not had to fall down. Don't see any... Well, there's this one, but that just leads back to this room. Okay, well, I guess we're going back the other way. Wonder how he opened this door. Are any switches over here? No. All right, well, let's go back in and head the other direction. Kind of interesting. I guess it's like supposed to teleport you here. Little teleporter there. Anything else in this room? Doesn't look like it. Guess we'll head this way then. Oh boy. I know who that is. It's Meridia. That's why there's Aurorans over here. Hello. Can I talk to it? Maybe. Let's make a save though.
Mortal, heed my words. A great evil festers in the Tower of Adam. The slow, Galatra, defiles the natural order. Crafting vile creations through twisted magic and desecrating the dead. This abomination must be purged. Travel east to Adam. Vanquish Galatra and cleanse this realm of their corruption.
Okay. Meridia Daedric. I don't think she's a Daedric prince you can get a quest from in the vanilla game, right? Yeah. That's pretty cool. I wonder if you get a Dawnbreaker from her? Well, that's a pretty cool place to end it, in my opinion. Does Tiberius work with Meridia? Because she's a Daedra, for sure. But she's actually a Daedra that's very in line with Tiberius and his beliefs. You know, she hates the undead. She hates vile creatures. I mean, she wants us to go kill a Kavatra, which if you don't know who that is, I'm not going to spoil it, who is a very, very evil being, part of the Janata Syndicate, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Tiberius would help her or not. I kind of want to do it because it's going to be super fun to clear that place out again. We cleared it out as Kalia, actually, but I think Tiberius would have a much easier time than Kalia ever had killing all of them. I think with Kalia, we had a bunch of summons and we had somebody with us. Maybe our orc bodyguard. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, if you made it this far and enjoyed the video despite my congestion, consider liking, subscribing, or possibly hyping up the video if you have not already, as it does help the channel immensely. Other than that though, thank you for watching and peace out.